I love good cornbread, and I'm often experimenting with cornbread and crackling bread recipes. And now that I've got this corn grinder, it occurs to me that I might up my game by grinding my own corn, making my own fresh cornmeal that still has the germ in it. Because whether you knew it or not, the cornmeal you buy in the store has no germ in it. They take that out to make corn syrup and to make the cornmeal more shelf stable. So much like there's a difference, a huge difference between eating eggs from those guys over there and eating eggs that you buy in the store that are perfect and have been radiated. I think the flavor is going to be different between this cornmeal and the cornmeal you buy in the store. I didn't know where to buy what I call people corn, so I had a choice between just buying the chicken feed corn or possibly popcorn. And I did some looking around on the internet, and I found a neat website called Wonderland Kitchen, and a very nice lady named Molly there had done some experimentation herself. And I spoke with her, and with her encouragement, I'm going to try this. I'm going to grind my own cornmeal, and then I'm going to make my cornbread based on her recipe with a little change. Forgive the sound. It's really windy. We have a storm heading this way. All right, we're going to give it a try. I've taken the corn grinder inside the house, taken it totally apart, and cleaned it real good, dried it very good, reassembled it. And you may wonder, well, why are you back out here in the dirty old workshop? Well, because the problem I see with a lot of people's videos where they use this corn grinder is they don't have a stable base. And I can't go tearing up the kitchen, so I came back out here where I can get a stable base. All right, let's give it a try. All right, what we're doing right now is we're grinding the first grind. This makes chicken scratch. And I gotta tell you, this popcorn is a little tougher than the whole corn that I got from Tractor Supply. But we're gonna go ahead and grind this up into chicken scratch, and then we'll have to do a second grind where we tighten everything up to get the cornmeal level. All right. Out of this jar, bottle, whatever it is, I got all this, which I know we're not multiplying loaves and fishes here. It's just there's larger surface area, but still, that seems like a pretty good haul. Now we adjust this back down to get a finer grind, and then we'll grind it again. All right, I've adjusted the two wheels down for a finer grind, and this is what we're starting with. Pretty much scratch consistency. It's really interesting. I notice as I'm pouring, see the husk? Now I'm going to have to decide or do some research to decide whether or not to float the husk off. I know if you want to make good grits from, real stone ground grits, which I have a place to buy that here, then you float the husk off before you cook the grits. Don't know about that with cornbread. It's an interesting thing to find out. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do the second grind and see what we get. All right, I've just started my second grind, and here's the result. And I already think that there will be a third grind. Can you see the difference? There's a fellow over in Pensacola, Florida. He goes to a lot of the art shows and stuff. He has a little one-horse portable mill from the early 20th century, I guess. And I talked to him one time. He's the one I got my grits from. And he told me that the first grinding on his mill made scratch, chicken scratch. That the second grinding made grits. And it was the third grinding that made mill. The other day when I was playing around with this thing, I thought I got a pretty good grind out of the second grind that I would call mill, but I am not seeing that with this popcorn. And I think I did read somewhere that popcorn was kind of rough. So anyway, I'm going to do a third grind, I think, and see where that goes. But first I'll go ahead and grind all this down in a second grind, and then go from there. One thing I notice is this stuff's coming out warm, so I might take a little break and let everything cool down. All right, we've got the second grinding done on all of the popcorn. Now we're starting third grind. And this is where I've got to make sure that I've got it adjusted down enough where it actually makes the third grind. Okay, yeah, I think I'm getting a nice grind here. I really do. That is some rough looking cornmeal, but it's cornmeal. All right, we're through grinding and we brought it inside to sift it through this sifter. And you can see we're getting a very nice cornmeal consistency. And this stuff that's left over, I either will try to make grits out of, or maybe the chickens will get it. Okay, we sifted the cornmeal, and it's looking pretty good. And I've got the other ingredients here, and I'm going to make some cornbread and see how it tastes. All right, there's the dry mix, and looks pretty good. Looks pretty darn good. Then I fold in a small amount of sweet corn and onions. Then you add the buttermilk and the fresh egg. There it is, ready to go in the oven.